What up, everybody? Welcome back to Cosmic Creatives. This is our newest podcast. It's not new at this point. We're like 7 episodes deep.
7 episodes.
Which I guess is new enough. But this is our new series where we talk to, Cosmic Creatives, just dope people who are dope at what they do. And, this artist in particular is no exception to the rule. They actually won our open mic competition a couple weeks back. Just crushed it.
Yep.
And part of that is getting an interview on the show. So we get a chance to get to know them and what they got going on. So we're introducing Jaeé. What's up? How's it going?
What's good? How's everybody feeling?
Doing good.
Doing all right, man. Doing all right. So the music that you've been doing, man, it's pretty dope. And what's cool about like this particular episode is that usually the people that I bring on here, I have a pretty extensive knowledge of who they are and I can ask them a bunch of questions.
Right.
But we actually don't know a lot about you, who you are. So this is a chance for you to really kind of talk to our audience and kind of explain who you are. But so in a quick little like elevator pitch, who is Jaeé and like what do you represent? Like what's your whole vibe about?
Jaeé is your average boy, just someone who's, always laughing and making jokes and shit like that. Someone who's dedicated to their passion. And just someone who has their eye focused on the grind for real. It's really simple. I mean, I'm a real simple person. I reciprocate what you're giving me. You feel me? So whatever you give is what I'm giving you.
So is Jaeé, is that like a play on your name? Is that your real name or?
So my real name is Jason. Yeah, it's J''S-O''N. Okay. But I'm in somewhat of a process of changing my name legally to.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Just because I have my dad's first and last name. Okay. And my dad and I aren't, we never really had a relationship. We never really, it just was never really there. So growing up, and, going through the trauma and stuff that I went through with that name. And every time that I would hear it being older, it's kind of just like it just reminds me of, it's like a flashback. I don't like hearing that. I don't like answering to that. And I feel like I've grown from that person. I don't feel like that's who I am anymore. It's a old perception of who I am to a lot of people.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
So when you're changing your name, are you changing it to like a brand new one? Or are you taking like your mom's side or somebody else in your family? Or like how?
Yeah, so I'm planning on taking like my mom's side of the family's last name. I'm probably gonna be Jaeé Gonzalez. There's 2, so I'm kind of deciding between which one I want to be. But I'm leaning more towards the Cañas.
I like that too.
Yeah, it just sounds better, Jaeé Cañas. But yeah.
So diving deep here, what's your ethnic background? Because you definitely have like the Matrix Zion multiracial vibe going on.
So I get confused a lot for like some type of islander or like Dominican
just
or Puerto Rican but I'm black and Mexican.
Okay.
My dad is black, my mom is Mexican. But sometimes I'll let people be like, oh wait, they'll be like, you're Dominican. I'll be like, yeah, I'm Dominican.
And are you born and raised out here?
Out here, yeah. It's time for me to go.
Yeah,
it is time for me to go.
I mean, you're extremely talented. Like when it came to deciding picking you in the open mic, it was just like, yeah, man, Jaeé just has it together. Yeah. Like just from the merchandise to your look, you know what I'm saying? Like even right now you're wearing a shirt that's like your shirt.
Right.
Yeah. You got a chain with your name on it.
Yeah.
So you're like, the look was on point, but then the music was also high quality.
The thing that took
my goal.
The crowd control was just the best out of everybody. You know what I mean? You definitely know what you're doing. You definitely know how to get the attention of the crowd and get them to engage with you and listen to what you got to say. So,
and I think that has a lot to do with me being on the stage since I was a little kid. You know what I mean? Like I had been doing the talent show every year in elementary school since kindergarten.
Hell yeah.
Junior high, I wasn't really involved, but I was in choir and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then in high school, I did they called it the senior varieties. The bitch basically was like a senior talent show. But so I've always been on the stage. So, and then at one point, when I was more on on a religious side, I used to be in the worship team at my church that I used to go to.
Okay.
Like
singing in the choir.
A few years ago, singing in the choir. Yeah. So the stage is nothing new to me. This is a second home for me, really.
Is this like a family thing? Like, is there anybody else in your life who is versed in the creative side, or are you like the black sheep of the family in those regards?
It really is like the black sheep of the family, and not even just with music, just in general. But like, you know, usually the black sheep of the family is the one that always kind of like branches out and does that.
That's
you know?
definitely me.
I'm definitely the black sheep of my family.
Right.
I'm the
right.
creative.
sheep's here.
I think of all of us sitting here today kind of tells us that, right?
I think most creatives are. Unless you come from like the Partridge Family and everybody in there is making music. If you're an outlier. Like my family, like all my brothers and sisters are doctors.
Yeah.
Like I got like my brother's a doctor in higher education. My sister's a doctor, a microbiologist. I'm the rapper / who makes movies and stuff.
Everybody else in my family has some type of like either government or really like trade type of job, and I'm the only one who's a creative. I have my father's a DJ, but like at the same time,
dope.
you know, that's where I got that main music from.
Yeah, nah, I don't. Because when I sit down and I think about it for real, I'm like, there's nobody in my family who, at least, I don't know, no one can really sing, or no one's really that creative. No one really, you know, raps or none of that. It kind of is. That's what makes me know. Like that's what makes me. It confirms my like my thought of this was a gift. This was not an accident. You know what I mean? This was supposed to happen. I'm supposed to be who I am. And I always say, like, a lot of people don't understand it when I say it, but I say I am who I am because I am who I am. Like if you think about it, it makes sense. But yeah, no, I just kind of follow whatever moves me, whatever connects to me, and that's just kind of how I create my music. You feel me?
For sure.
At what age were you? Did you decide that you were going to be an artist, like a musician?
Well, I started writing at 18. I tried to start rapping at 18, and then I left it alone for a little bit. And then the pandemic hit, and that's when I really started, like, you know, grinding those gears. But living at my mom's crib, it didn't allow me to grow. It didn't allow me to be who I really needed to be and who I really am. So once I moved out of my mom's house, I'd say like late 2020 going into 21, that's when I knew, like, all right, this is what I want to do for real. I finally finished writing a freestyle that I had been working on for 3 years, and recorded it, put it out, and then, you know, was working on my EP and pushed that shit out on my 21st. And
so yeah, that's a timestamp, right?
Timestamp is new. I have a lot of projects.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that.
I have a lot of projects. So 2021, I pushed out my first EP, Awakening. And then 4/20 of 2022, I pushed out my first album, Dreams, which is probably like my best body of work, I'd say number wise. And then later that same year of 2022 in October, I pushed out my second album, The Peak of My Prime. And then just this year in February, I pushed out Life's Not Fair, which is the album that's on my shirt right now.
So you put out a decent amount of music over this
and then I just dropped Timestamp on the second, and then I'm working on the volume 2 to that mixtape, and I'm working on a joint album with someone and a joint EP with somebody, and then my solo album. So it doesn't stop. Like I'm working on shit that's leading into the next year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
as you should, for sure. I definitely have a game plan for that. I feel it, for sure.
Right, you have to. You have to.
And so, like, is that like your ultimate goal to just be like the best musician possible, or do you see yourself pivoting into like other stuff, like movies and stuff like that, or like where do you see yourself as Jaeé 10 years from now, when it's not all said and done, but when you're like kind of popping? You know what I'm saying?
So I always say that the goal is bigger than the music. I just have to start with what I have, you know what I mean, with what I know, which is the music, which is my craft, which is my art. So once I'm able to kind of build that standard and build that structure, I feel like, you know, once people know what I'm capable of for real, then I'll be able to start branching off and doing bigger shit, commercials and you know, movies and shows and bigger shit. Like I see myself.
Do you see yourself like acting and stuff like that?
Yeah. It's so much. My goal is so much bigger than music. But again, I have to start here because this is
what you're good at.
This is what I'm good at. Yeah, exactly. So
it's a process for sure.
So once people see that I'm able, again, once people see what I'm capable of, then it'll kind of build that safe space for me to start branching out and doing the shit that I know I can do, which is beyond the music for real.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's talk about your influences a little bit. Like who do you compare yourself to, or who inspires you to make the music that you make?
So I've been, and I'm gonna say this with the chest, I've been an OG motherfucking Barb since 2008,
Okay.
2009.
That's dope.
Nicki is Nicki. If you see this, if this ends up floating around, listen. She is probably the biggest reason why I do what I do and how I do it. If you listen to the way that I rap and you listen to the way that she raps, it's brain picking. Like, it's not something that you understand the first time you listen to it.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to go back a couple times and what the fuck did she just say? What did he just say? I'm that type of rapper. So Nicki's definitely been like my push. That's who I've listened to growing up and who I've honestly like idolized, for lack of a better term. But yeah, no, Nicki is definitely at the top of my list. And then I'd say Big Sean.
Okay.
Just because he's the same way, you know,
he's very complicated with the flow.
Very complicated.
For sure.
Very
Absolutely.
complicated. That's a perfect way to put it. And then I say Tyler, the Creator, as well.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
That's like, if you put those three in a little like gumbo soup, I kind of feel like you get Jaeé.
You know, when I would actually sprinkle in there too, what I thought about when I heard some of your music was The Weeknd.
Really?
I definitely heard like some of that kind of. I think it's more like how you present yourself more than like the music itself. Like, you got like this kind of like I don't give a fuck kind of vibe. Like, I'm out here just kind of telling my story kind of vibe. Like, I get that vibe from you a little bit too.
That's dope. That's so funny. I used to work at Walgreens a couple years ago. And a lady came up to me. Well, she came into the register. She was paying for her shit. She's like, "Has anyone ever told you that you look like The Weeknd?" And I'm like, "No." Like,
Yeah, I don't think you look like it. It's just the vibe. Because we were chatting it up a little bit too. You're talking about, like, I'm about to go to this Erykah Badu show. Did you go to that show last night?
Oh my God, it was amazing. Oh my gosh, it was.
It's a vibe.
It was a vibe. I was high as hell.
I know a lot of rappers or artists that would be like, "Yo, I'm pulling up to Erykah Badu."
Yo, if I were to show it, after we're done with this, I'll show you the type of music I listen to. You're gonna be so surprised. I listen to Fleetwood Mac and shit. Like, I don't listen to NLE Choppa and fucking, like, no, that rapper shit I don't really get into. And I'm not discrediting those type of artists. I'm just saying that's just not what inspires me to keep going. You know what I mean? Yeah. When I listen to the music I listen to, like Erykah Badu or shit, even people like Tiwa Savage, which is an Afrobeat artist, or Burna Boy, or, you know, Wizkid, these type of people, FKA Twigs, these Kali Uchis, all these different, you know, it's my scale of music and their scale of music is day and night, but it's the shit that fuels me to be like, yo, I know I can create some different shit in my own way. You know what I mean? Listening to, it's like working in the same field with somebody. You can't really grow if you guys are all doing the same shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you start to branch out a little bit and you see different, you're going to want to do different a little bit as far as the position you're going to want to grow. So it's like the music I listen to is not the music I produce.
Well, I mean, that's actually a good segue because you do have a collaboration with Trippie Redd,
right?
Who is, like, in my opinion, like an outlier in the general sound. Like, he's always trying to just do different shit and like push the threshold. Yeah. So it's interesting that you have that collaboration. Yeah. Can you like talk about that a little bit, like how that even like came about?
So I knew about this for a little while, just couldn't really say shit. But I know someone who knew the producer of this beat, right? Which he's worked with Trippie Redd a couple times. But a lot of the times in the industry, I'm sure you guys know that people will kind of record like demos and either shelf them or they'll kind of like float them around the industry to see who kind of fits the best on the song. But the producer of the beat sent it to the dude that I knew. He sent it to me. You know, I went in the studio, did my little 1-2 just because I had extra time. So I was just like, fuck it, let me just see what I can do. Because this whole timestamp mixtape was just line for line, take for take. So none of this was written. So I just, you know, did my little thing, sent it back to him. He sent it to the producer, showed Trippie. Trippie fucked with it, gave it the green light. And it was just all kind of like, it just kind of trickled back and forth. But they texted me and were like, yo, Trippie fucked with it. You know, gave it the green light. You can kind of do what you do, announce it, post it, whatever you're going to do with it.
That's dope.
So I was in Chicago when I got that message, and I had just finished the show. And so a few hours later, I posted it and shit. But yeah, it just was like natural. It was a blessing. It kind of just fell in my lap for... It wasn't nothing really too much to it.
Right. It's just a natural progression.
And that's what I say. It's always about who you know, not what you know. Because
Absolutely.
those connects and shit, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a blessing. So shout out to Trippie Redd, shout out to his team, shout out to the people who made this shit happen for real.
I mean, shout out to you because you're the one, who made that shit happen for sure. If anybody, that's on you. You feel me?
Right.
It's definitely a frequency thing too.
Yeah.
Like if you're out there popping and you're out there doing it on a level that people recognize and that the talent speaks for itself, and I'm saying people will fuck with you.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter like what level they're on. If the opportunity presents itself and you're like ready, which honestly, like, to be dead ass honest, out of most of the artists, and this is not a knock to any of the artists that are out there that we worked with, you're actually probably one of the most ready artists that I've come across.
So funny, I get that all the
You know
time.
what I'm saying? Whereas like if I don't know who's the poppin' person right now, was to say Puff Daddy, that's my go-to. Puff Daddy walks in right now and says, I want to sign you the bad boy, you be good to go.
Right.
Like you have the hit singles, you have the look, you have the whole vibe, you have everything about it that makes it like, yeah, you're just good to go.
Yeah, I mean, and it's kind of crazy to be as humble as I am, but have that, like, know that, you know what I mean? Like, fuck, what's up? Like, I know that it's like, you know what I mean? I always tell people,
well, that's when you know that it's really like for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely feel it. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely like Jaron was saying, the energy, just the way that you, just the way that you move and the way that you keep progressing, and then again staying humble, like you said. So let's like. It's all on you. You really, it's just a matter of time, for sure.
Of course, yeah, no, and I know. So I'm just kind of like, just waiting. I know that it's just about the right people, the right person in the right room at the right time. So, I'm enjoying the ride. I'm enjoying this wave because I know one day I'm gonna look back and be like, damn, I was just able to fucking pull up in my own Chevy fucking Malibu at Circle K and get whatever the fuck I wanted without anyone bothering me. You know what I mean? Like, this is the type of shit that I'm enjoying right now because I know that. Because I'm grinding so hard and my goal is bigger than the music, that one day it's gonna fucking hit me.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna look around and be like, was I really ready?
Right, exactly.
You know?
I mean, preparation favors the victors.
Yeah.
If you're ready, then like when that moment hits, you're good to go.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
Like, and like I said, we really saw that in you when it came to the open mic competition. Like, man, this guy,
Right.
they got that shit.
Yeah. But right when you went up, you were already at number one on our list. We were just like, we were like, all I know is, somebody got to really outperform this dude to win first place.
You got to set the bar.
Yeah, you really set the bar.
I say that the only way a motherfucker gonna beat me is to cheat. You cheat, that's the only way you beat me.
Yeah. Even then, though.
Yeah.
Even then,
man. You got
it'll be some crazy cheating.
So,
Right.
let's talk about this. The last release. Was it Timestamp? Was the last release?
Yeah, my most recent.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So let's talk about the concept. Why is it called Timestamp? What does that mean?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing with that? Like, you
I love
got
that question.
visuals coming out. Like, let's talk about it.
I love that question. So yeah, Timestamp. Okay, so first of all, Timestamp was not planned. It just happened. So I had a track called 602 and 316 recorded already. And so after the months kept going, I recorded a couple more. I'm like, damn, I look, you got a little like project on my hands. I can probably like, drop something. Excuse me, but all of the files were listed either at the time, like the names of the files were either at the time that I finished recording, that I started recording, the date it got recorded, the day it got mastered, whatever. They were all timestamps of whenever, in that creative process. So instead of me going with the regular route of coming up with names to songs, I was like, I'm gonna keep these like timestamps as the names of these titles.
Fuck with that. I thought it was like 602 Arizona, 316 Steve Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Everyone thought. And so there's two. So the intro and the interlude. Shout out to That's Just D. That's the homie right there.
Yeah.
But that's who's on the interlude in the intro. Those two are specifically area codes because it's his. He lives in Jackson, Mississippi. So
okay,
makes sense,
those two are area codes, but everything else is timestamps, literally from. So if you see 602 was probably the time, or it was probably the date, or it's either a date or a time. But that's kind of where that came from.
Was the 1400 military time?
So that's so funny that you ask about that. So originally that song was 9 o'clock basically, but after it kind of got that green light, that like confirmation, it just was like, yo, there's no fucking way that his brand is like 1400 I'm over here working on this shit called timestamp.
Yeah.
It just kind of like the number scheme thing just kind of matched up, so I updated it to to 1400, but it was originally 900 because it was 9 o'clock when I. Yeah.
Fuck with that.
That's good. What would you say is the most difficult part about being Jaeé and being an artist and doing all this? Like, what are the hurdles and the walls, impasses that you hit the most on your journey?
I think being gay is just the hardest thing in this industry. A lot of people don't take LGBT artists as seriously. And that may just be because of the image that they have when they walk in the room, or who knows. But that's just one of the hardest struggles that I faced. I mean, shit like people cutting my set, or shit like people, you know, not necessarily calling me up to perform, or just, you know, I perform last, or, you know, it's just like, shit is just kind of like rigged. But that's kind of like one of the biggest things that I face. But that right there is what makes me go 10 times harder, because it's like when I step on that stage, and again, this is confidence, not cockiness, but it's like when I step on that stage, we know what's up. Like, the music speaks for itself.
Hell yeah.
It's almost,
it's facts.
It's almost undeniable. Like, if you say otherwise, it's almost like
you hating.
You're hating. You're hating, because you don't even gotta like me. You don't even gotta like my type of music. But sit down and listen to the structure of the music and the bars and the flow and the punchlines, and
yeah,
right.
Be for real.
Yeah.
Let's just be serious.
So, I mean, you opened up the conversation in terms of you being an LGBTQ artist. For me, like, I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah. I told him the exact same thing when I seen him. I was like
your talent surpasses that category.
Surpasses that.
Right.
And that's what I say all the time.
Like, when you're on the stage, I wasn't thinking, oh man, this dude's a gay artist rapping.
No, right.
That never hit me. So when you bring up like the prejudice and the things that you deal with, that's like almost like a spot judgment scenario. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even thought about it. I saw you when you pulled up. You had a bunch of chicks with you, and I was just like, "Yeah, he's doing his thing."
Yeah, no, and that's what's crazy, because, you know, I don't have male friends. Like, the male, I guess, like, energy that's around is not on the same type of like wavelength. There's always, you know, there's always some type of like, I feel like, motive or intention. So I don't really have male friends, and that's kind of just been like that since school. Like, I only had a couple male friends during school, but I've always kind of been more in touch with like the feminine side of my family and friends. Like, I've always felt more comfortable and understood on that side. Men tend to, you know, just naturally are more aggressive and assertive and just more, you know, just a little more like.
Were you raised by women mostly?
Yeah, I mean, I was raised. My mom. I was raised by a single mom.
Wasn't around, so raised by women. I was raised by women as well. Like, my father died at an early age, so like basically everybody who raised me was like women. You know
So I was raised around my grandma, my aunts, my mom. You know, all my girl cousins. I grew up with all my girl cousins. All my cousins who were my age were girls. So, you know, my mom always said that she knew who I was at such a very young age, just based off the shit that I liked to do and what I was involved with. You know, I was forced to play sports. I never liked to play sports growing up. I was always involved in music, talent shows, music, choir. I'm like, you know, interviews, watching biopics, and I enjoyed that type of shit. I felt like that's what was feeding my soul. When I went and got on the field and was throwing a ball or shooting a hoop, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? This is not where I belong. Like,
well, at least you realize that at an early age.
Yeah,
I think that's actually very important, because a lot of times people deny that shit.
Yeah, no, I definitely knew that it was not for me. Yeah. But my mom made me try every fucking sport just for me to still be like, I don't fuck with sports. This is not what I want to do. I knew it. I knew music was gonna come into my life some way, somehow, but I just didn't know when, and that was very frustrating, because it's like, okay, you don't want to do sports, well then what the fuck do you want to do? And I'm like, I don't know. You know what I mean? But I just knew that I wanted to be involved in music. It was just hard at the age that I was, because, you know, my mom never really supported like my music dream, and still really doesn't.
I mean, it's still risky. right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been doing this shit going on 3 years now, and it's like I've taken a whole year off of working to grind. Like I took off I didn't have a job for an entire year because I was doing this shit.
So would you say that you're financially stable off your art entirely? At this point, are you almost there? Or like
with the bills that I have, it's not really much. So with the money that I make from music, it's doable, but it's not something like, oh, I can go and get my own place right now.
Right,
if I wanted to. You feel me?
It's still a grind.
It's still a grind. It's still a grind. But you know, this is the shit that I'm learning to love, because it's not going to be like this for too long.
No, and to be honest with you, once you really bridge that gap of music or whatever, there's so many different ways that you can make money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Music, a lot of people use that as a stepping stone to be able to like get to the next level, open certain doors, and you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just keep grinding as you already are, and you already know, you know what I'm saying? It's inevitable for sure.
Exactly.
If you just keep at the pace that you're going, because we can definitely see it for sure.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I appreciate you. Yeah, I always say it's so close that I could like, I cry sometimes. Like, I can taste that shit. Like I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy to me. Like it's like I feel like it's lingering over me, but I just like I don't know. It's so close. It's I could taste it. It's crazy.
Well, even going back to like the LGBTQ thing, and like, you don't lead with sexuality, right? Like you're not out here like shaking your ass and like that. And like the reason why I bring that up, because like Lil Nas X, like he actually like has like I wouldn't call him the template in mainstream gay rapper music, but he's the leader of that in the sense that he's the most successful in this so far, right? But then I see artists like you, like once again, not even thinking about it, but then like you tell me that, I'm like, huh, I guess I kind of see it now, right? It's a vibe, it's energy, and someone who is more in tune with that would probably pick up on that immediately,
Right.
And so when it comes to that, like, how do you feel about like someone like Lil Nas X, like leading with like, I'm in the locker room with all these dicks around me and all this and that? Is it a vibe? Is it something you rock with? Or is it something that you're like, you feel like offended by? Because like, I guess the cross metaphor would be like just being like a black artist, right? And seeing like a lot of like rappers doing drugs and being violent and doing gangster shit. I don't necessarily align with that. Yeah. But that's like the mainstream vibe of like when you think about black rappers.
Listen.
So like a gay rapper, you see Lil Nas X, who's the most successful in the craft so far. And it's like, oh, well, he's sucking Satan's dick and giving him lap.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna say this before we continue this conversation. We need another shot before we get
we can do that. We got you.
We got to start talking about Lil Nas X. Okay, listen, this is my whole thing. No, everybody, we got to take a shot together.
We can do that.
Yeah. I feel like.
Are you good?
I appreciate that there is somebody in my community who is mainstream because they're making it easier.
Yeah.
You feel me? Well, hold on.
Ooh, okay. Woo. All right.
So I am appreciative at the fact that there is someone like him, mainstream, who is in my community, because they're making it. He is making it easier, making the path and the lane easier for us to really come in and do our thing and shine for real. Sure. I almost kind of compare, and it's kind of, I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but if you're familiar with Saucy Santana, it's almost kind of like him and Lil Nas X are both they're both gay, but Lil Nas X isn't as raunchy as Saucy Santana is.
Interesting. Okay.
You see Saucy Santana with the nails and the makeup and the lace fronts and the booty shorts and the crop tops and heels and shit, and is becoming mainstream. So these two artists, I kind of look up to, and I almost kind of feel like it's when Nicki was first coming out and busting the fucking door down, and was making it easier for these female rappers today.
Right. She really is a catalyst
to really do what the fuck they want to do now.
For sure.
You feel me? So that's kind of how I see them. I appreciate them. I do, because I'm someone who wants to be on the same fucking stage that they're on, like if not even bigger. You know what I mean? So I appreciate them, and it's kind of hard when people ask me questions like that, like, how do you feel about him? And I'm like, well, I don't know him, but I appreciate him as an artist and where he is as far as his stature in this mainstream industry, because it's making it that much easier for me to open that fucking door and just run straight through that bitch. You feel me?
I think transparency is very important in all this too. And I think that's like one of the issues when it comes to hip hop in general, is that like, it's, first of all, it's just the most successful art or form of music out there right now. Hip hop is killing it right now. Hip hop. And so there's that whole corporatized side of it, right? Like, how are we going to sell records? How are we going to get the numbers up? How are we going to get the streams up, right? And Lil Nas X, like, as many know, he started as a Nicki Minaj fan account.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I used to follow. We used to follow each other on Twitter. That shit's. I remember the day when people were like, "What happened to Lil Nas Mirage X?" Lil Nas Mirage X was his fucking Twitter account. Everyone, all the barbs were like, "What happened to him? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?" And not too much later, fucking that Old Town Road song, whatever he came out with, fucking blew up, and we were like, "That's him. That's him." And then eventually he fucking admitted to it, but that shit's crazy to me, because I'm like,
so like starting with that point, like just being, hey, I'm a fan of Nicki Minaj, and I'm a gay person who loves hip hop,
right?
Which is more common than people think, right? That's actually a fucking thing. A lot of gay people love hip hop. I want to express myself through this, and Nicki Minaj has provided a whole blueprint for me, right, on how to kind of do that.
The pink print,
right?
Right.
The pink print, exactly. The pink print. Thank you. And so he carves his lane, Old Town Road. He creates this whole movement. But at the same time, he creates so much controversy around him, right?
Right.
So going back to what I was saying about the numbers, right? Like the record labels are like, we could capitalize on this, right? So and he's signed to a major label. So there's things that he's got to do to sell those records, right? So a lot of that comes to mind where it's like the integrity aspect of it, like maintain the integrity. It's so complicated for an artist like him. And like I kind of understand what you're saying in the sense that like he kind of is showing the way, right or wrong,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because some of the things that is wild as fuck. You know what I'm saying? But it works, right?
But it works.
It gets the conversation going.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's very like almost kind of like Lady Gaga-ish, and even right now Doja Cat.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just doing like the whole like, this is me. If you can't accept this, then fuck you.
It is what it is, but I'm gonna still do me.
People who are gonna support me, right?
Like exactly. So that type of energy, again, it's like that was part of the reason why I felt like I could do this shit, because I followed Nicki for so long and she's had that energy still to this day. It's like, fuck you, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do, and I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say, and I'm gonna do it how I want. And so it really is just following within that energy and being headstrong and just knowing who you are and being confident in who you are. Because if you walk into a room, it's like, do it strong or do it scary, and see how it turns out for you. It's really just like,
do it strong or do it scary, you said?
Yeah, you do it strong or do it scary and see how it turns out for you.
Nah, it makes a lot of sense, because I mean, fear is a powerful weapon. Absolutely.
It'll crumble you. It'll break you. Fear is your worst fucking enemy, because it starts making you think of shit that's not even there.
No, you just gotta jump.
You just gotta do it. Do it strong or do it scary. It's really like, and see how that shit folds for you. Like, it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, I've always kind of had that energy around me. Like, I got taught how to swim when I was like 3 years old, and I got fucking thrown in the pool. It's like, fucking
just
do
figure
it.
it out, right?
Do it.
Right.
Do it. And what did I do? I did it, and I started swimming, and ever since then it was my favorite thing to do. So I don't know. It's just, I think if people were to just stop thinking so much about the what ifs and the what ifs that are not even there.
Yeah.
It's like, just do it and see what comes with it. And, you never know. It might end up working.
So you're born and raised out here, right? You said.
Right. Yeah.
So then you're pretty familiar with like the Arizona hip hop community.
Yeah.
Who are some artists out here that you fuck with?
Definitely shout out to Renee. You guys just had her recently.
Yeah, we just had her last weekend.
Yeah, we have 2 songs on this album actually.
Okay,
nice.
Yeah. And we just recently kind of collabed. It was this year that we just collabed. Who else is out here? I just met a new artist. His name was Mookie last night. He's a dope artist. He speaks to your soul for real. He's like an R&B artist a little bit. But he almost kind of gives like a you know how like J. Cole kind of he raps, but he tells a story, but almost like in a melody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not necessarily just talking to you. That's kind of how he was. I don't really know too many other. Shout out to Yana. I don't know if you guys have heard of Yana Baby. She's a dope AZ artist. And Z Baby. Z Baby is a dope fucking AZ artist. We got a few records together.
Nice.
Yeah. Y'all should check her out. Z Baby.
I've only heard about half of the people you said, and honestly, that makes me like very happy. 'Cause I feel like when it comes to Arizona hip hop in general, those are such a weird combination of words, right? Arizona hip hop, especially with like all the things that Arizona has been through. And so when you actually ask people that question, you're gonna always hear different answers because of just how they experience Arizona for what it has to offer.
Yeah, exactly.
But with that said, there is a lot of politics out here, a lot of bullshit, a lot of fucking just dumb shit that makes this hard for an Arizona hip hop artist to operate.
Right.
But I think you kind of cracked the cheat code a little bit and found some secrets. So what advice would you give to like an artist that might be watching this or listening to this who's like trying to like get it popping and get a collab with Trippie Redd or just that kind of just be together like you are? You know what I'm saying?
You know, and it's crazy that you say that because I still feel like I'm figuring this shit out. But you know, I think that based off of my experiences and my this little journey I've been on so far, it really has just been like staying true to who I am, never boxing myself in to anything, and just, you know, staying focused. I think when you stay focused and take the time to study yourself, you start turning on shit that you didn't even know you had. It's like you start exploring and tapping into different shit that's like, what the fuck? I didn't even, you know, I didn't realize I could do this or you know, do it this well. Or so I just feel like, again, just do it strong and do it scary and see how it folds. You feel me? That's just really what I stick to. But yeah, no, I think sticking to yourself and knowing who you are, staying headstrong, it gets you far. It really does.
Amazing. What do you got coming up? What's next for Jaeé? What can we expect from you the next year or so?
Say in August, so Timestamp Volume 2 is gonna be dropping within the next couple of months. And that's gonna be a completely different it's gonna be different sonically. It's just gonna be something that I've always wanted to try, this type of music that I listen to. It's gonna be like an Afrobeat type of project.
Oh, nice.
Afrobeats, huh?
Yeah.
So kind of like what Drake did with his last album, huh? I guess Afrobeats are a little bit different, but the same kind of like
I guess there's a couple like same type of elements a little bit, that same type of groove a little bit. But if you're familiar with like Burna Boy or Wizkid or you know, those type of artists, it's kind of the vibe I'm going for. I'm working with a artist who lives in Ghana actually. For this project, so shout out to NK Music. But yeah, so this project is gonna be definitely different from everything I pushed out. I'm also working on like a little 4-track EP with a female rapper named Sydney Monet, which is another dope artist from Detroit. She's out here though. She lives here in AZ, but she's dope as fuck. And then I have a joint album I'm working on with a homie of mine named Dash Just D, but we have so many tracks together that we finally sat down and we're like, yo, we need to become like a rap duo with each other.
Sure, yeah. Take advantage of that shit.
Yeah, exactly. So now we're officially Southwest. He's from the South, I'm from the West. So that's just kind of how we kind of came up with our name.
Nice.
So we have that joint album, and then of course I'm working on my solo album. So it within time everything will see the light of day. But I'm working. There's a lot of shit that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, man, you're definitely doing your thing. Yeah, this is a good place to wrap it up. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming through.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Get a chance to really know who you are as a person. Yeah. For me, like I said, like I've been operating in this scene for a long ass time, and I like to think I know a lot of these artists, and so getting a chance to know you is like, it means a lot to me.
I appreciate that. No,
but where can people like find you?
You can find me everywhere. You can find me on Instagram, wherever you listen to music. That's Jaeé Music on Instagram, Jaeé Music with 2 Q's, so MUSIQQ. Anywhere you listen to music, it's just Jaeé. And yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm everywhere. Get at me.
Dope.
We got to make this timestamp because, you know, before you get popping, he's here at Star Camp.
Right. I know. I really feel like this project it might be the one that might kind of get me, like, you know, noticed.
Yeah. We're definitely rooting for you. Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
I received that. Thank you.
Yeah. So you guys watching, thank you for watching Cosmic Creatives. We're actually going to have Jaeé bust out a performance here. Yes. But if you want to see that performance, make sure you follow us on YouTube, Cult Life on YouTube. That's QULTLYFE, where you can see this full interview, all edited and looking pretty, as well as his performance at the end of it.
Yeah.
So we appreciate you guys watching. Once again, thank you, Jaeé, so much for coming through.
Thank you so much for having me.
And yeah, man, that's it.
You
We are out of here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this fucking bit.
It's the motherfucking remix. Xing on the E, fucking mean, little nigga, these bars is mean. Said I work these niggas out, these niggas ain't even lean. Suck a bitch, Jaeé, wow. Who the fuck told niggas they was Jaeé now? We know I really son them, do I gotta bring the shades out? See, my flow is butter, I ain't talking about the shade now. Was breezing through your city, said you wanted me to stay now. Go and hit the playground. Shoot your shot, you got more luck with buying bucket hats. We smoking loud, man, you niggas shot the succulents. Malnourished motherfucker need some Simulag. Dog, little niggas gotta sit them on my fucking lap. The Prince, man, and I don't even own the Royce. Put the pedal to the metal, want the roses, what's your choice, nigga? Your shit trash, man, why you even waste lines? I'm snapping back like waistline. With a Jado, light it up, el fuego, fuego. Bring the shots to the table, table. Eres perra, te gustan los fuegos. Que tú tomas, dice José Cuervo. Eres sexy como mueve ese cuerpo. Que lo, baby, que yo soy suelto. En amor no es ley, si lo siento. Tu cuerpo lo siento. Had to fuck around and sing on these bitches. And the nigga ain't North Key, I got the ring on these bitches. Fucking fraud, faking fame, little snakes, skanking bitches. Every time y'all say my name, I get more fame from you bitches, You will never see me, never beat me. These niggas is never winning. Caught you outside, just know my niggas spinning. With straps, fool, they laces are strapped too. Said these niggas on my nuts, y'all niggas is cashews. Ayy, feel like TK did the race. And in case y'all hoes forgetting, you ain't never in my lane. Y'all be hopping out your hoop, while be swerving in the rave. I be zooming past these hoes on the way to yell away. Yelling oh. I ain't handing out no rides, ho, catch the shut toe. If you feeling shit, you shake, ho, God, they doing hold. If you hear them shooting swords, stuck in her dog. Bitches Jaeé with the Xing on the E. Thought I was done with these puns and you best get the run and never finish. Why you mugging the corner? You really feel this in this feelings, the Achilles. I'm eating this, you I'm killing. Said I'm up front, park right outside, let's really get it. Your girl sexting, your boy flexing. Why you wanna know all these questions like who's testing? Was out in Cali where them niggas throwing gang signs. Bitch, you was a no like smoking symbol on the gate sign. At rolling loud when niggas was rolling loud. All these niggas really staring, make me break your fucking smile. Know you want the cheat code. Said just me, I be was popping, ain't shit sweet though. Doing I need though. I keep some braids in the lengths, it's with it. It ain't a soul on the earth to do the same. Admitted, I got yo chasing me. We at the banks is with it. We in the ride going cool where the tops is missing. Higher than treetop, fuck the boot. Got all these bitches wanna spit, shine my shoes. I tell them I'm not the one, little bitch, I'm shooting back. You can see it how you want it, but the facts are fact. With a Jado, light it up, el fuego, fuego. Bring the shots to the table, table. Eres perra, te gustan los juegos. Que tú tomas, dice José Cuervo. Eres sexy como mueve ese cuerpo. Que lo, baby, que yo soy suelto. En amor no hay ley, si lo siento. Tu cuerpo lo siento. Eres sexy como mueve ese cuerpo. Que lo, baby, que yo soy suelto. En amor no hay ley, si lo siento. Tu cuerpo lo siento. Jaeé.